Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Yes, it has been absolutely crazy to say the least. We have had the wildest showcase. There is so much to talk about, and obviously this video is a result of that because I want to talk about one of the things right now specifically, and that is the stop motion project teaser from Little Nightmares. And of course, it's the project that was shelved years ago, and they have finally got some kind of teaser for it. And I want to talk about it because it's actually very interesting. Not only does it might shed a light on another character in Little Nightmares 3, it is, again, stop motion. It's living up to what we were expecting the first time. And again, the video itself in the teaser, I want to talk about because it has some really interesting details. So, but of course, if you love Little Nightmares and want to see more videos like this, because we've got a lot to break down still, don't worry, we've got so many videos to make. I've only got so much time, so they're going to come out little by little, but there is so much to cover. But this one today, we're going to be doing the stop motion cover one, and then we're also going to do loads more in the future. But if that is something you're interested in, make sure you hit subscribe, like, do all the usual stuff. But yeah, let's get into it because this one is super interesting, and let me tell you why. So we first open up to the overlay of the child, and well, we'll get to the name in a minute. We open up to the overlay of the child looking out of the window into a broken world, one that looks damaged. It looks like it's almost been part of not a war, but just neglect. It's been left all this time, and it could possibly represent something like a doll house, more like a model city, if you will. But more importantly, in the background, we have a factory in the top left corner. Now, I believe this factory also sort of hints towards a Little Nightmares 3 factory, but again, there's no firm information on that. But again, some of the details in this are really interesting. It is just a city or like a little village, just absolutely run to the ground. And then, of course, we get, and this is where my big theory comes right away. We get of course, a gift delivered to the girl called Emily, and it says, "May this replica capture your heart." Anyway, that's what I'm assuming from the cursive. I'm really bad at the cursive, so give or take, but that's what I reckon it says, and it says it's from him. Now, number one, the girl is called Emily, so we're following Emily's story, and again, we'll learn a little bit more about Emily going forward. And she's also into her dollhouses, and this dollhouse in particular, this dollhouse, I believe, is a gift from him, and him is the ferryman. Now, as to why and who and what, we'll get into that a little bit later. So far, the story seems a little bit open. Again, it looks like the original story, so there's a little bit of room for a wiggle in here. And also, we can't really make out the paintings in the background from when she does open the toy box. But there's something I want you to really have a look at here, and that is Emily's presentation. How she looks, what she's wearing, her hair. It all looks a little familiar, doesn't it? And then we see, while Emily is asleep, we see a sort of interference with the dollhouse. Something is changing inside it, and that something looks to be similar to Little Nightmares 2 in the signal tower. Similar to how Six's room was set up when Six was affected by the signal tower. We're getting that purpley blue glow from the room. And of course, this wakes Emily up and Emily must inspect it. But there's an interesting transition that's happening here. And I believe the dollhouse is connecting to Emily in a way and sort of manipulating things around her. So the ferryman has this item here, the dollhouse, and it's her ticket into the nowhere. Because obviously, as we can tell, from what we see, it looks like Emily has been left behind, or she is being brought up in a desolate area, maybe the last family or something left in that village or town. And I think this is that little hint towards, hey, come over to the nowhere, it's better here. There's obviously something we don't quite know about Emily yet, but I think when the show comes out, we'll know fully. And also, something really interesting about the shot in particular where she's looking into the broken house, and it looks quite like the Hunter sort of environment. It looks very similar to Mono's little Void gameplay, where we see him axing through the door in the nowhere and in the signal tower. It's like a void, if you will, built around the children, like the crossover, if you will, the threshold that the ferryman creates. And I think that's what we're seeing here with Emily in the dollhouse. And then, of course, we get to see Emily looking out of the window from a different perspective. But this perspective isn't what we saw at the start. It's actually her looking from the dollhouse that she was given from the ferryman, or him, as it's stated. And I think this is just going to be a slow story about her descent into the nowhere too. But there's something I also want to talk about, and it's actually, one, the production quality looks fantastic for a teaser. Mwah. Give me the full thing, please. I want it now. It looks great. Stop motion. Who knows if it would be like chapter based or like episodic? I think it would be like a one and run done. I think it would be just a whole little like mini film, if you will. I think that would probably be the way it's done. But the biggest thing I think that we might miss, first off, is that Emily, I believe, is the monster baby. And it's sort of just how it sort of correlates together. And not only that, it's the emphasis on her looking through something, like how she does with her eye. She looks at the residents or the children in the nowhere. She's constantly watching. And what was she doing in the windows here? Watching, constantly looking out, monitoring the situation. And not only that, the way Emily is shown to us and her apparel, it matches that of the monster baby. Now again, my absolute really going off the walls here is that during the transition from when Emily steps into this dollhouse, I think Emily will turn into a resident, thus creating the monster baby. And I think ultimately it will be all down to Emily just wanted to play. She wants to role play. She wants to play with a doll. She just wants to be a kid, and she's not going to get that chance. And in the nowhere, she gets that chance. But the dolls are the dwellers, and it's not necessarily the same type of deal she was hoping to get. But as we know, the ferryman is a cryptic bugger, and this is pretty much on point for him. So I think it's super interesting. I hope that we get to see this quite soon. But I mean, realistically, we're very far out. It is just a teaser trailer. We could be waiting another few years. But let me know what you think in the comments below about this. But I think it's real interesting to think this could be the Monster Babies connection to the counties, if you will. Like it's the actual real world colliding over. And again, the whole dollhouse play and also, watching, it just seems to fit the bill. And also her appearance, her dress, it just seems similar, and I think it's really close to being quite on the money there. But anyway, let me know what you think. Again, if you enjoy these type of videos, make sure you hit subscribe, do all the usual stuff. But with that being said, we have a stop motion animation in the works for Little Nightmares, a TV show. Don't know, it might be a little movie, might be a little feature film thing. But regardless, we're getting something stop motion, and that is absolutely beautiful. That is exactly what we wanted. But with that being said, have a lovely morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Little Nightmares theory video. Bye!